Hi, Ms. Lewis here, back with our series about individualized learning plans. And in this particular video, we're talking about inside of the VLC individualized learning plan and how it works. Because of course, as I mentioned in an earlier video, this is our process. Parents, we're in the process of having meetings with you guys, and we really want you to understand when we talk about this individualized learning plan, what we're talking about, what you can expect, all that good stuff. Yeah, so when we talk about making the child's learning journey count, we're talking about a process where we're taking time to understand our student profiles, meaning we have background information. This is why you all got all those forms at the end of last term to fill for us, to update for us, so we can understand better about the history, what's been going on, and what has happened within the last academic year, especially for special education children who may have had specialized services outside of VLC. We really need to understand those things, yeah? We also, of course, take into consideration the academic baseline. So again, remember you got this long report at the end of last term, which was the end of year report that we really looked at everything that happened from September 2024 to June 2025. So we're going to be looking at that. When I say we internally at VLC, we're going to be taking a look at that to analyze the student progress and what has been happening and what are all the feedback that really went in alongside the term reports and so on. Yeah, we're also going to be looking at strengths and struggles. The ILP gives consideration to these because we want to know what does your child show that he or she can do or cannot do, or is challenged in doing, you know, in what areas they need support, and really look at those. And we can't forget SMART goals. You know, last year when we did our parent conference, talking about parent conference, remember, we have our annual parent conference. It's going to be virtual this year, virtual only. It's on the 23rd of August. So remember to check in with that. We have our annual parent conference. It's free of charge. So be sure to check in with our socials at the Literacy Center, so that way you can get like the registration link and so on. We have our free parent webinar. We have our annual parent conference that we do. It's not just for VLC parents, it's for all parents. It's online. It's a webinar this year. So make sure you check that out through our socials at the Literacy Center. Yeah, so SMART goals. We know that at last year's parent conference, we talked a bit about SMART goals and the importance of creating SMART goals, especially at home, where we transition from saying, I want my child to do better, to transitioning to breaking down exactly what that means so we can have clear projections. So at school, we have SMART goals, so we develop SMART goals for our kids, and we want to make sure that those goals are, of course, specific, measurable, achievable, time-bound, and relevant. So that's what we're doing. Let's not forget the support plan. In our last video, we spoke about the VARC, which is making sure that we're really engaging students through visual, auditory, read, write, kinesthetic, and different modes. So your learning plan would identify how we're going to engage curriculum through this lens, and of course tracking and reflection, because we need data. And you know, I'm always talking about data. Data is critical. We don't make decisions about our children and their academic progress based on how we feel. At least we shouldn't. We use the data. So data is critical, not just in a reflective mode from a planning perspective, but we're looking at the data throughout the academic year, and when we're going to be doing those check-ins to making sure our kids are progressing and to make sure we're not having to wait a very long period of time to determine the extent to which they're progressing. So your individualized learning plan would identify that, at least for our full-time people, yeah? So in the background, these are the things we're doing. These are the things that we're working on. And you know, sometimes your child just needs a team. Your child needs more than just mommy alone, more than just teacher alone. We need a system. And so the individualized learning plan creates a system to make sure that things are documented, to make sure that all that needs to be done is being done, and to keep accountability. And so that's what the learning plan does, and that's why parents, or at least VLC parents, you get a copy of the learning plan, so you stay accountable with us in the process throughout the academic year. The ILP is a living document. That means we don't do it now as a formality or we do it to look cute. Nah, all those hours it taken to do that, it's not to look cute. It's a living document to make sure that our kids are able to do well. and that's a big deal. We want to make sure our kids are able to do well. This year, one of the things I was chatting with Miss H, and I was telling her how happy I continue to be that all of our general education students were promoted. And they weren't promoted just because we don't want to keep them down. They're really out here earning those grades. And part of the reason why our kids are progressing and they're doing well is because of things like the Individualized Learning Plan. Because we really at VLC show up every day. I know moms and dads, I really want you to know that we showing up here every day, really working with your kids. And so we really appreciate those of you who, you show up and do the same with us. We're working together. I was in a family meeting this week with a new parent, and I was saying, when on socials and so on, you see us say we are family. We're not trying to make a cute hashtag. We are family is really how we operate. We are family. We support each other. We show up for each other. We stay in communication with each other. We understand that the betterment of the student is the primary goal. It is the focus. So when we say VLC family, we are family, it's because we're here showing up with each other. And so we're out here doing the things, and our kids are out here progressing, and we're super happy and excited and proud of them. And so we encourage you to stay in touch with us. I always say, moms and dads, you all know, when we have our meetings and stuff, I always say to you, never feel nervous when you see my number show up on your phone. If I'm calling you, it's for good reason. If I'm calling you, it's because there is some collaborative conversation that we want to be able to have that says this is how we're going to move forward. This is how we're going to make things better. So listen, it's all about the results. It's all about building confidence, building skills, and having growth that lasts. So that's what we're doing. We're out here having growth that lasts. So thanks so much for checking out our videos. Remember, stay in touch through socials at the Literacy Center. We are most places, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other places. Hey, look for us at the Literacy Center. We're there. Have a great one, and until the next video, take care. Bye.